Here's another one. Michael Cohen pled guilty to something that's not even a crime. Wait a minute. These are campaign. Nobody, except for me, would be looked at like this. Nobody. What about Congress, where they have a slush fund and millions of dollars is paid out each year? They have a slush fund. Millions. They don't talk about campaign finance anything. Have you ever heard of campaign finance lists? Have they listed that on their campaign finance sheets? No.
Some more of President Trump's interview today on Fox News, during which he repeatedly insisted he had done nothing wrong when it comes especially to campaign finance violations. It's all part of a very busy 48 hours for this president. His former lawyer was sentenced to 3 years in prison, after all. His longtime ally, American Media Inc., has entered into a non-prosecution agreement, as they call it, with the feds. Just hours ago, the Wall Street Journal is out with reporting that Trump's inaugural committee is under criminal investigation, and the New York Times is on the board with another story on that topic tonight. So who better to talk about all of it than this man, Attorney Neil Katyal? He served as the government's top lawyer before the Supreme Court as acting Solicitor General during the Obama administration. In that job, he argued 37 cases before the Supreme Court. He is these days a professor of law at Georgetown University. Counselor, you asked that we begin with an exchange with the president. I'm going to do just that, show our audience. We referenced this in the first segment. This is on board Air Force One, April 9th.
Did you know about the $130,000 payment to Stormy Daniels? Then why did Michael Cohen make it if there was no truth or allegation?
Well, you have to ask Michael Cohen. Michael's my attorney, and you'll have to ask Michael.
Do you know where he got the money to make that payment?
No, I don't know.
April 5, my mistake. Neil, first of all, thank you for coming on the broadcast. Second, why is that important? The president wasn't being deposed. It was a toss-off comment to cover something embarrassing on a moving aircraft.
Yeah, so it's a real privilege to be here with you. I think the reason why that's so important is it really shows the kind of bait and switch strategy of the Trump defense is crumbling. So, I've taught the criminal law course about 20 times, and I think what I would teach my students is that the technical legal term for how the president is probably feeling right now is wigging out. And the reason for that is that he doesn't have a defense anymore. So, we teach in criminal law that when you're the boss and your subordinate goes to jail for carrying out your orders, that you'll get a punishment usually 3x, 1x to 3x, double to 3x of what the subordinate got. Here, the subordinate, Michael Cohen, has been sentenced to 3 years. And the president now has to trot out a variety of defenses, all of which seem really weak. The first was that videotape. I had nothing to do with it. Michael Cohen has tapes showing that you did. And AMI, the National Enquirer, has also said that you did, and that the principal purpose of these payments was to influence the election. And then today, your own network reporting that Trump was actually in the room with National Enquirer and Michael Cohen when the hush money payments are made. So that defense is now crumbling. So he's going to move to another defense. It's teased out by Rudy Giuliani. And tomorrow in the Washington Post, I have a piece with the former Republican Federal Election Commission chair, who together we look at this Edwards defense and we say, does he have anything there? And the answer to that is undoubtedly no. It's very, very different than Edwards, and indeed the Edwards prosecution boomerangs on him, because the judge there did decide, as long as one of the reasons why you're making these hush money payments to a mistress is to influence an election, that is a felony. And that is what Cohen has said happened. That is what the National Enquirer has said happened, and Cohen's got the tapes to prove it, and the career prosecutors in the Southern District of New York are saying we have other corroborating evidence as well.
The president spent the day yet again today calling this a civil and not a criminal matter. And then there are his surrogates. Tonight, former Pennsylvania Senator Rick Santorum, who was a full-on moralist during his time in the U.S. Senate, was saying, in effect, this is a violation of federal election commission rules, and this is not felony.
Yeah, so I actually tweeted the statute out on my Twitter page. It is a federal felony. There's no question. It's an imprisonment term of 5 years. So I have no idea what Mr. Santorum is talking about. It is a felony through and through. And one of the points why we're writing this piece tomorrow is to say this is a really serious crime. This is not like, some technical reporting violation or something. This is shrouding very significant payments just days before the presidential election. And, one of the things that's been so disturbing over the last couple weeks is seeing Republican senators whom I, held with reverence, like Orrin Hatch, say, oh, it doesn't matter if it's a federal crime. People commit these crimes all the time. And, the president today saying on Fox News, oh, I get looked at more than anyone, and it's unfair, which is really rich coming from lock him up, Mr. Trump. I don't actually think a different standard is being applied. I think no matter who, if anyone had the audacity to engage in these hush money payments, these shell corporations and the like, any ordinary citizen right now will be looking at a felony indictment. And really the only thing that's protecting the president right now is this constitutional card he's got that a sitting president can't be indicted.
I heard someone say yesterday, if this is the only thing they ever have on him, this could be big enough to be ball game, as this person put it. Do you concur with that? And as a general rule, do you think there is too much talk at this stage of impeachment in the media every day?
Well, look, I think the president is right to be worried, and your reporting suggests that he is about impeachment. I think, he's got both indictment concerns and impeachment concerns. These are really serious things. I mean, and if the president is going to say what he keeps saying, which is a sitting president can't be indicted, every scholar who takes that view, including the 2 Justice Department memos that say that, also say if you can't indict, then you have to launch the impeachment proceedings in the case of a serious allegation of something, because that's the only way to indict, which is impeach first, remove from office, and then indict. So, and this is something I fleshed out in the New York Times a couple months ago. The argument that you can't indict a sitting president is actually a setup for Congressman Nadler, who's running the Judiciary Committee, to say, I've got to then look at impeachment. And Nadler has said time and again he doesn't want to do it unless he really has to. But these Trump arguments, which are like, I'm above the law because I'm the sitting president, I think they're going to force Nadler's hand. So, yes, I am absolutely convinced that there will be an impeachment inquiry by the House of Representatives and the new Congress. I don't see how it can be anything else at this point, given all of the serious accusations against the president and his constant lying in trying to defend himself.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me, or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.